Deep in the fertile riverlands of Suphan Buri, an object of immense faith was born. For centuries, its story has been wrapped in legend, a story of power, of incredible artistry, and of the unbreakable spirit of a kingdom. This, my friends, is the story of Phra Khun Phaen of Wat Ban Krang.
You know, this ancient saying really says it all, doesn't it? Sublime beyond description. It perfectly captures the reverence people have for this sacred object. It's a whisper from the past, telling us that what we're about to explore is something truly, truly special.
And here it is. Just look at it. For generations, people have sought this amulet, believing in its legendary blessings. Blessings of charismatic grace, of almost miraculous protection from harm, and even invincibility when facing the worst of life. It's so much more than an object. It's seen as a vessel of profound spiritual power.
So, our story really begins here, right along the banks of the Suphan Buri River. And it makes you wonder, what is it that transforms a simple piece of baked earth into an immortal legend? Where did this revered amulet truly come from?
The tale goes deep, way back into the Ayutthaya period, a golden age of heroes and kings. But for the longest time, the full story was lost, literally buried in the soil of Suphan Buri, just waiting for centuries to be found again.
But here's the twist. To find its beginning, we first have to jump forward in time to a moment of discovery that, honestly, is almost unbelievable today. This is where the story gets fascinating, because it reveals just how close this great treasure came to being lost forever.
We find ourselves at Wat Ban Krang, a serene and ancient temple. For hundreds of years, it stood there, quietly guarding a priceless legacy that no one knew was there, hidden away inside a crumbling, forgotten stupa.
What's just staggering about this discovery is how casual it was. In 1901, the old stupa finally crumbles, and what does it reveal? Tens of thousands of these amulets. But nobody saw them as treasure back then. They were just piled up under a tree. And get this, the local kids actually used these sacred objects as toys, skipping them across the river like stones. Incredible.
And that right there is the central question, isn't it? How could something so powerful, so historically important, be treated like a common rock? To answer that, we have to travel back 400 years to the exact moment it was created. The true origin of the Phra Khun Phaen wasn't in a moment of quiet meditation. No, it was born from war, from a great victory, and from a royal command. Its story was literally forged in the flames of one of the most heroic moments in Thai history. Picture this. The year is 1592. King Naresuan the Great wins a massive victory for the kingdom in a legendary elephant duel. To honor this moment, and to honor the soldiers who died, he ordered the creation of these amulets. Their original name was Phra Wat Ban Krang, the amulets of the great warlord. They were meant to be a spiritual shield for his army, a focus for the entire nation's faith. And this slide right here, this shows the undeniable royal link. On the right, that's an amulet made in the capital Ayutthaya for the victory. On the left is our amulet from Wat Ban Krang. The artistry, the style, it's nearly identical. This has led experts to believe they were carved by the very same royal craftsmen. It's the proof that the Wat Ban Krang amulets were part of that same legendary, kingdom-defining event.
Okay, so now that we know its epic origin story, let's take a closer look at the amulet itself. Because its beauty, what it's made of, well, that tells a story all its own. It's a physical testament to the skill and the faith of the people who made them.
What's really fascinating is that the ancient creators actually sorted the thousands of amulets they made based on how beautiful they were. The ones with the most exquisite, graceful, and superior art were called Phra Khun Phaen, named after the famous hero. The ones that were a little less refined but still held their own power were named Phra Plai, representing Khun Phaen's son. And you can really see the difference here. On the left, you've got the elegant lines and fine detail of a Phra Khun Phaen, and on the right, the simpler, more rustic form of a Phra Plai. Both came from the same sacred moment, but each one has its own unique artistic feel.
But what makes these amulets truly sacred isn't just the art, it's what's inside them. They weren't made from just any old clay. The earth was mixed with all sorts of holy ingredients, protective herbs, pollen from special flowers, and even tiny particles of silver and gold sand. Sanctity was literally baked into every single piece.
Now, over 400 years, those sacred herbs mixed into the clay have slowly disintegrated, and they leave behind these tiny, irregular little holes. This is called Roi Wan Lud. This isn't a flaw. In fact, it's the signature of time itself, a beautiful, unmistakable mark of authenticity that can never be faked. It's the sacred proof of its long journey through the centuries.
And so that brings us to today. The story has truly come full circle, from a forgotten treasure used as a child's toy to one of the most revered sacred objects in the entire land.
400+ years. Just think about that. Through the rise and fall of kingdoms, through all of history's changes, these small pieces of earth have survived. They have been a constant source of faith, a real, tangible link to a glorious past that we can still hold today.
Its role might have changed, yeah, from a physical shield for a soldier in the heat of battle, to a spiritual treasure for a modern believer. But its core purpose, that has never changed. It's a direct connection to a moment of ultimate victory and a timeless wellspring of faith.
Because in the end, when you hold a Phra Khun Phaen from Wat Ban Krang, you aren't just holding a piece of baked earth. You're holding the courage of an army, the faith of a king, and the immortal spirit of victory itself, captured in clay to last for an eternity.